Okay. So we'll also go down to new business. 6A is an opportunity for the public to speak on the topic of Madden Creek name change to Hartley Creek. Is there anyone here for that by chance?
I'm just a member of the public would like to speak at whatever appropriate time.
Go right ahead, sir. Just, if you would, state your name for us.
Thank you, and good morning. My name is Chip Garrett. The address is 22254 South 4250 Road, Veneta 74301. I went to high school in Nowata, where my father taught school. My family has lived on Madden Creek since the 1950s. I run cattle there now. I have some brief points to make for the board's consideration with respect to the proposed name change. Excuse me, I'm having trouble talking. My allergies are acting up. Unlike creeks named for places or things, such as Lightning Creek or Salt Creek, Madden Creek is named for a person or family. In the first meeting, Mr. Hartley told you that he had not checked and could not, that he had checked, excuse me, and could not find out why the creek was so named. Of course, it advances his request to not know. I do not know. I have not lived there long enough to know personally who the creek is named for or what honors they represented that had that name bestowed on them. My point, however, is that unless and until you can find out why it was named the way it was, you're not in a position to judge whether Mr. Hartley is more worthy than that person or persons to have the creek bear his name. Simply not knowing is guessing, and proceeding without knowing for certain whose name you are helping to displace, I suggest would be disrespectful, and I ask you not to pass a resolution recommending that. In an earlier meeting, for which I was not present, one of you made comments, at least the comment was reported in the paper, attributed to one of you that you ought to make sure that the Madden for whom the creek name was not, for example, a war hero. You should not pass a resolution recommending a name change until you're absolutely ruled something like that out. I'm not in a position to help today. That would take considerable time. But that's the point I wish to make about with respect to that. My second point is that without being disrespectful to the Hartley family or to the memory of Mr. Bob Hartley, who did live in the community for many years, the community around Mr. Hartley has different opinions about the impact of his family's business practices. By Nowata County standards, Mr. Hartley was a big rancher. The problem is that there's no real community consensus that bigger is better or that money is any measure of the esteem in which your neighbors hold you. And I suggest to you that there is certainly no community consensus on Mr. Hartley's business practices and ranching practices. It has been my experience, and I can speak personally with respect to this, that Mr. Hartley has not always been a good neighbor. I am acutely aware of the fact that there may well be people in the community that would say the same thing about me, and so I do not say this with the intent to slander him or disrespect his memory. Whether it was specific issues with coal mining and its effects on highways, roads, bridges, and nearby houses and wells, or issues with respect to the aerial spraying of property and the damage that it caused to property that was not theirs. It is my experience that Mr. Hartley did not treat some people the way I suspect that he expected to be treated. The fact that Mr. Hartley's family came to you, for example, without, so far as I can tell, first coming to the neighbors who live along that creek and asking for their input, gives you some idea of their business practices, at least in respect of this matter, and in my judgment is not very neighborly. As you sit here today, you are not equipped to fairly assess Mr. Hartley's character or his business's practices, and it would be unfair of me or anyone else to expect you as a board to do that. There is no possible public good that can come from changing the name of this creek, and I'm asking that you not pass a resolution consenting to it. I do not begrudge Mr. Hartley's status as a large rancher or his money, or his family's wish to honor him in some sort of public way. I simply don't think that this is the creek to do that. And I don't think that he should displace someone else's name to do so. I think that honor can be conferred on him in some other way. For example, I, not too long ago, was driving on a county road in Rogers County and came upon a very nice sign which indicated that the county road I was about to drive on had been named in honor of someone else. Now, that's a county road in a far different matter than a creek, but it is an example of a less intrusive way of conferring honor on this family. And so therefore, I ask the commissioners to not pass the resolution consenting to this name change. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I think you're well spoken.
Is that the,
This is the same letter that we got that was dropped off anonymously
Unsigned, yes.
at the Nowata Star.
Yes, we're unable to publish it without it being signed. But I just wanted to submit it to the commission.
I will attempt to read it, and I apologize. I ran off, left and forgot my glasses, so I'm about half Madden Creek. The creek was named after William Will Madden, a prominent black man, owner of several acres of land in Nowata County, which then was Hayden, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
He was owner of a grocery store. He gave 1 acre of land to build a school named after the family. At one time, there was 63 students attending the one-room school with 1 teacher. Later years, an additional room was added with an extra teacher. The school closed in 1962. The building was moved to Alloway. The Salt Creek Madden Cemetery is also named after the family. We descendants and landowner would like to keep it the name Madden Creek. Thank you. After some research that I can appreciate being worked on, I appreciate it. It sounds like this fellow was a freedman. And like I say, I appreciate the concerns as far as, the Hartley name. But as far as, I'm all about history. I know I've preached it enough, since I've been in here, but I think after the research I've done and the research and the letters and the concerns, that I don't know, we need to make a motion to not make this resolution. I don't mean to disrespect either family, but
Freedman was, to have his status would have been something, so he must have really been quite the...
I can verify that the family has military records. They're just not public records, so I could not print those for you. They can verify that they also have military history in our area as well. They all have on file.
To honor him with the name of a creek back then, that would have been quite the thing. Yes, pumping that too. Yeah. When did that name come about? Like early 1900s or late 1800s?
no, I'd say probably around the 1900s, because he was born in 1867, 1869, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
He's got good story.
so it wasn't a popular thing to be his ethnics back then. So for him to have that honor was, I would say, probably something very great to do that, to get that accomplished. So, yeah.
Is a motion to not pass. Motion to change the name.
Richard, I thank you for being here today. I agree with part of what you said on there's other ways to honor someone. There's actually some roads in Nowata County that are Bell Road being one of them, that was renamed for Mr. Bell, who's done a lot of work for help to Nowata County. We actually have another one in my district that we're working with the family on to do a part of the road for them. So I think there's other ways to do that, and I agree. Freedman, that's a deal. I mean, they fought to get their who they are put out there now. So, alrighty. So that's done then. And item A is done. No, anyone else on that topic? No. Go back to 5B. Discussion and possible action, NOI forms to be considered and possibly approved for submitting to Oklahoma Emergency Management Grants Portal for request of disaster mitigation funding for 2 projects, county storm sirens and an emergency operations center / 911 dispatch center building.
Yes, sir.
I don't have the estimates yet. Sorry. I've talked to the storm siren people and I can give you a guesstimate, but without them actually doing the site surveys, because they're going to need to know the size of the poles that those are on, I apologize that I can't give you an amount for that one. So I won't be here next week, so I don't know if you can table them for 2 weeks or just take them off and I'll ask for them to re-put on. But I am in discussions with 2 different storm sirens people to get an educated, good estimate for the amount we would be requesting. So, and I went to the fire chiefs meeting and everybody was on board with that. I mean, they were pretty excited about the prospect. The sirens I'm looking at, in case anybody wants to know, are not just tone, they are voice capable sirens, so that in the future we can use them for many different hazards. They can pick up the WEA, the messages that come out through FEMA that would be a national emergency, or we can use them for local emergencies, but they're highly capable sirens to be set off remotely. They don't have to be set off at the pole. So, I'm working on getting a really good estimate for those. So I would like to table it, I'm sorry, for another couple of weeks. Unless you want me to guess. I mean, we could fill it out and guess, but...
I agree with that. Just drop it off till you're ready and then put it back on as an agenda item.
Okay. She didn't have a schedule so tight.
Yeah.
No action.
No action. Jerome United to discuss or take action on creating a trust authority. Jerome?
Last week I provided county clerk with our bylaws, be added to the trust indenture. So as far as we're concerned at this point, trust indenture is complete, so it's up to you to make a determination as to its acceptance.
The bylaws are new.
I'd like to table this. I don't know how quick we need to move on this, but I'd like to table this. And I have some research. I know the committee's asked me to be on that board committee on this trust. And I'd really like to research it to make sure that I'm capable of being on that committee.
I've given that some thought because I know you're busy. We put you in there as a name just to have a tie to the county commissioners so that things that come up can be discussed at the county commissioners meetings. However, at the other time, another representative would do is just as well. If I were to put a name out there, I would recommend Lori Summers, because she's been involved in the meetings. She's in the courthouse there, so if you feel you can't take that position, or fulfill that position because of your involvement in activities, that would be fine. You know, we're just trying to cover our base with a person that would have the time to be committed to it.
I still want to continue being
Sure.
involved, it's just as far as making decisions.
Hand-on,
I don't
because,
feel comfortable.
okay, because see, to me, I want to be on, you know, the committee will have a place on the agenda either once a month or whatever's needed, so that whatever's happening with the 911, you folks are aware of what's going on, the activities. Because there's going to be ongoing activities as far as pulling it all together. So you're not going to be left out of the loop. You know, I'll be here, Mike's going to be here, and whoever we got, you know, whoever can make that attendance, that would be it. But anyway, you're tabling it is a fine thing. The thing that we're looking at is that grants are going to be coming out available at the middle of the month. I don't know specifically that. They just put that number out there saying that they're going to open up for grants. And the deployment plan that has to be put together has one of the features, top features section is that how is it going to be governed? And how is this 911 board going to be governed? So the governing of the board is a condition that has to be achieved. Okay? So it's either going to be, I can turn around and start preparing it and saying that currently it's under the county commissioners with the intent to have their own trust authority, and that may suffice it, I don't know. And all it is getting us the documentation so that we get moving forward.
Yes, I don't want to be a wholesale promise.
I understand that, but like I say, I want you to feel comfortable about it, and if you have a recommendation for your replacement, that's all well and good.
Well,
okay?
I know just two of you are here. Rocky's not here. But I would like to table this until we have, and nothing against Lori, but I know she's going to be involved because of the position she's in.
And see, she's trying to combine a facility to house both emergency management and room for dispatch. So.
Again, like I say, I'm not trying to take away from Lori, but
I wish she was sick.
I would like to at least talk.
Yeah, she didn't even know I was going to throw her name out. I just volunteered her.
Yeah.
I'd like to table this until we can talk to Rocky and have some input, if maybe he might have someone else, because I feel like you're going to be involved.
No matter what.
Whether you're on the trust or not, you're still going to have involvement. And if we could get another person involved, that's just that many more people that's got input on it.
Sure.
I hope you understand what I'm coming.
Oh, I understand.
But as far as sitting on the trust and being a commissioner, I feel like it's going to kind of overlap, and I don't want to get in any kind of
No, between you and I, there is not going to be an overlap.
But I would
Just
still
put
be,
on another hat.
I would still be involved, you know, but I just feel like there might be some conflict.
Chief?
I wouldn't mind having another fire chief on there or an EMS director on there if we're going to fill that position. That way we've got all the emergency services represented there.
And I know Rocky, you know, represents the fire departments, but I'm trying to get as many people involved in it as I can. And honestly, I've been to so many meetings here since the first year, and it's hard, you know, when you're trying to conduct a meeting and different ones, you got different things going, and it's hard to get enough members and enough people to even show up and have controversy on it. And like I say, I'm not trying to take away from Lori whatsoever. I mean, I just...
No issues.
That's all right. She won't mind.
No worries.
Yes, I'd like a motion to table this. And I apologize for the time frame.
Oh, that's fine. I'm good.
Yes.